Hello everyone, thanks for coming back for another episode on the Lawn Lover channel. I appreciate your support. Today, we're going to go over one of the most overlooked things that people do on their lawns. They don't water, especially in the summer. This can wreak havoc on your yard when we hit the hot summer heat and the drought. So today we're going to go over some watering tips to keep your lawn lush and green and healthy this summer. So stay tuned. So as you know, in the hot weather, if you don't water your lawn or you don't get any rain, your lawn's going to get into what they call heat stress or drought stress. There's stuff you can apply to your lawns to help with this, like sea kelp and stuff, which I went over in a prior video. I'll link above. But it's key, even with those kind of things, even if you're putting hydrating, even if you're putting any of those type of products on, that you get water on your lawn. So recommended in the summertime, 1 to 1.5 inches of water, perhaps a little more if we get some really dry heat, hot heat in like the upper 90s, 100s, and it's really drying out a lot. But I usually shoot for about 1 inch a week, unless we're super hot. You don't want to go over applying the water because you want to avoid fungus issues, but you also want to keep your ground hydrated so your turf can thrive in the summer heat. So as I've went over in a prior video, one of the key things, tools that you can use to keep track of your irrigation and water on your lawn is a rain gauge. So you can supplement, if you're getting rain, you can supplement with irrigation, either a manual sprinkler or an irrigation system in ground. But you want to make sure you're shooting for that inch, at least 1 inch a week, and possibly higher if we're getting super hot. So rain gauge is going to be key. You can pick these up for pretty cheap at local big box stores or online on Amazon. I can link the one that I've purchased and that I use frequently. I like the big numbers on it. I can see it from the house, so I can develop my watering plan without going out to check it all the time. So if you have an in-ground system, that's excellent. I would still recommend the use of the rain gauge so you're not running your sprinklers all the time. Now they make sensors on these systems that will cut off your irrigation when it senses rain or water. So the technology with these is really developed. You can even control these from your phone apps and computers. It's fantastic. I unfortunately don't have one, so I'm still doing it the manual way with sprinklers. So I'll go over the sprinklers I like to use and how to keep track of how much water you're putting down with your sprinklers depending on sprinkler type and water pressure. So as you can see in this video, I use 2 types of sprinklers. I like to use the oscillating type sprinkler that goes back and forth. Gives me good coverage in short, narrow areas, and I do like and recommend this Melnor sprinkler, mainly because I can adjust the width to where I want in and out, and also how far it goes each way. So this is easy when you're trying to target small areas, like down between my sidewalk and the street. I can get a narrow strip and get almost the whole thing in one watering. So you're not wasting water putting it down on the street and running it off of the grass, and water's not cheap, so you want to make sure you're effectively using that and getting it on the turf so your turf can soak it up. Now the other type of sprinkler I like to use is the impact sprinkler. As you can see behind me, rotates back and forth. This is also a Melnor. I have them on the ground, the metal slide Melnors, which I'll show here. And also I picked this up over the winter. This is the Melnor tripod sprinkler. So what I like about the tripod sprinkler is you can adjust the height up and down. So when you adjust it higher, you get more coverage with that water. It kind of simulates rain better instead of being down at ground level. So I've been using this a lot more than the ones I have that are for the ground. Also like with this sprinkler is you can dial it up. So if you twist the dial in at the head, it will basically fan out your spray to get you a wider spray for shorter areas, or you can unscrew it and you'll get a longer spray to spread farther. And also it's got the metal flap on top to where you can dial down your spray to avoid obstacles and stuff. Great sprinkler. This thing has great versatility. I like it a lot. I'll link it below on the sprinklers I use, as I said earlier, and that I personally recommend. Melnor is a great company. They have a lifetime warranty on their products. I've utilized several times after you use these for, you know, thousands of rotations back and forth. They will send you replacements at no cost to you for the lifetime of the product. They stand behind their products. They have great customer service, and I would highly recommend using Melnor sprinklers. So now that we've went over the types of sprinklers that I use, it's going to be key depending on the type of irrigation, whether you have in-ground or above ground manual sprinklers. It's going to be key to know how much water you're getting on the ground. So this will vary depending on sprinkler type. It will also vary depending on your water pressure. So everybody's going to have different water pressure, especially if you're on city or well water. So it's key to measure out how much you're putting down. And the easiest way to do that is to go buy some tuna at the store, dump the tuna out, throw it away because it's nasty. I mean, haven't met too many people that love tuna. I personally think it's disgusting. So this is the best use of tuna that I've ever seen. Throw the tuna away, and basically, I don't know if you can see it here. I'll try to get a close-up on the camera. Is you want to take a tape measure and measure out 1/4 inch from the bottom. So what this is going to do for you is we're going to set these out in the lawn in various spots. I usually like to use 4 with each sprinkler. So I'll set them in various spots of the sprinkler heads in the range of where I'm spraying. And then we'll measure out how much time it takes us to hit 1/4 inch in these tuna cans. And at that point, we'll develop a time frame on how much it takes to get 1/2 inch down on the lawn. So another key here, as I'll show you, is mapping out your zones. So you're gonna get you a map. I like to print off a GPS of my property map, which I also use for fertilization, but I made a separate irrigation map, as you can see here. And basically what this does for me is it maps out what zones. So I map where I'm putting my sprinkler head and where I'm spraying. So what type of sprinkler I'm using, where I'm spraying, and what kind of coverage I get. So this will help me, once I figure out my tuna cans down, figure out how much water I get in 1/4 inch, how much time it takes me to fill this up in all of the tuna cans in each zone. Then I can say, if it takes me say an hour to get 1/4 inch in my tuna cans, I'll know that I need to water for 2 hours to get 1/2 inch down in that zone. So I'll write that down on my map so I can reference that later and make sure I'm getting enough water down. So another tip I have for you guys is when you're watering, you don't want to water all the time. So a lot of people run their sprinklers like every day. So I mean, that's not great for your turf. What you want to do is infrequent watering but deep watering. So I usually like to get at least 1/2 inch down when I water. So I'll water a couple times a week. If I'm shooting for 1 inch of irrigation, I'll water at the beginning of the week, and I'll put 1/2 inch down in each spot all over the yard. Then I'll wait several days, and then I'll nail it again with another 1/2 inch. So over the course of the 7 days, I'm still getting 1 inch down, but I'm not getting it down every day. What this is going to do for you is develop your roots. They're going to have to go deeper down into the ground to get that water, and it's going to make your grass more more resistant to the stress, the heat. It's going to grow deeper roots, and your grass is going to last longer and last through that summer heat, especially if you're supplementing with products like sea kelp or anything that's going to help with the drought, like a hydrating product, etc. It's going to bode you well in the long run. Like I said, you want to get at least 1 inch down a week on your lawn, and then when we get super hot, you want to shoot for 1.5 inches, maybe more, depending on the heat and how long it's been since we've had rain. You also want to make sure that you're supplementing Mother Nature to where you're not just putting down 1 inch in irrigation and then getting a bunch of rain. So you want to keep an eye on the forecast, kind of develop that into your plan. I like to know if I'm not going to get rain, or I check the forecast, then I know that I'm going to shoot for 1 inch. If we got a good chance of rain, I'll hold off on the irrigation, see what we get, and then supplement to get me up to 1 inch in what I got in my rain gauge. So I hope you found this video helpful. Like I said, get you some tuna cans, measure what you're putting down, get 1 inch of water on your lawn at least a week, and it's going to bode you well in the long term, getting your lawn through that heat and stress. And also, this is great for watering product applications in. Most need watered in to activate, whether it's fertilizers or other products you're putting on your lawn. So you can plan that around your irrigation schedule and really get most efficient use of your water and your products and your money that you're spending on your products on your lawn. So if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you if you have questions or comments, and I'll see you next time out in the lawn.